Hey everyone, it's Brian Altano from IGN here at PAX South with Eric from Sony Bend. Eric, tell me what you do.
So I'm the lead open world designer on Days Gone. I'm in charge of making sure that the open world is diverse and dynamic and exciting for the player.
So today we're checking out the Horde mode.
Yeah, so this is later on in the game. So Deacon's going out for one of the encampments and has to take out this Horde that's a threat to them. So he's leveled up, he's unlocked some skills, and he's got some focus abilities, he's got some upgraded stamina and health. And this is a scenario where you kind of really have to think about these things because you've got 300 freakers that you have to try to take on. And so you're going to survey the environment, you're going to look for things that you can use to your advantage to take them out. They are faster than the player, and so just running away is not always an option. You have to use the environment, you have to climb on stuff, you have to use explosives in the area. Deacon has a whole arsenal full of traps and things that he can craft and use to his advantage, and you definitely want to use that full arsenal to take on the Horde.
So I think my gut reaction as a gamer is to grab a gun and run in and start shooting and just assume it's all going to go well.
Right.
And that's obviously a terrible plan in this scene.
Yeah. So the minute you start making noise, all of them are going to start coming down on you. They kind of, when they're in these big groups like this, they kind of think like a hive mind. And so if you start alerting them, they're going to start letting everybody else know that there's a threat nearby, and they're going to come after you. So it's good to sneak around the environment. We've got a lot of really cool stealth mechanics, and you can sneak around and you can place traps and you can kind of set up what you want to do, pick out your path, and then execute it from there.
So we're starting with a proximity bomb on a flammable gas truck.
Yeah, so the better thing than exploding one object is exploding two objects. So you definitely want to try to blow up as much as possible in their paths to take out large numbers of them. It's all about maintaining that gap between you and the Horde. And so climbing on objects, you're going to be able to get ahead of them, and that space is your opportunity to act on them.
Now, is the sort of primary objective here to take out this entire Horde or take out as many as we can?
So for this one, this is a threat to a local encampment, and so we need to take out this entire Horde. You can see here that it's there's body bags, there's blood and guts all over the place. When everything went down, there were all of these mass burial sites, and what happened is they started attracting the freaks. So the freaks started coming in, and all of these burial sites turned into feeding grounds, and so they're hot spots for the Horde.
You're explaining that in a very calm fashion, but that's actually one of the most grim, gruesome, and dark things I've ever heard in my entire life.
It's definitely difficult to grasp, because when all of this stuff was going down, they had to do something, and both the survivors and Nero, which is one of the organizations that tried to help, kind of like FEMA, they had to act fast. So here you can see David planting those proximity bombs.
Yep.
He was able to trigger an explosion and separate himself from the Horde.
Oh my god. So he funneled them in.
And so climbing on stuff is definitely going to be a good bet, and then blowing things up along your path.
Looks like they didn't trigger that proximity mine back in the oil drum, so we're in trouble.
Yeah, they might have been going a little bit too fast.
Will they funnel through that? Oh yes, they will. Oh
yeah.
My god.
So even if you get high ground on them, you're not safe. They're going to plow through things. They're going to get on top of things.
So, rough estimate, how many of them are we facing right this second?
This is about 300.
Oh my god.
And this is a relatively small Horde.
What? So we got their attention to begin with. We're now funneling them through these tunnels. This is a good time to pull out your gun when they're
absolutely,
narrowed in
yeah,
like that,
yeah.
right?
When you can funnel them down, you can take out as many. We have bullet penetration, and so when you are able to upgrade your guns, you can get extended magazines to get more ammo, and you're going to want to be able to get that tight space on them so you can utilize all the ammo that you have.
So we've thinned the herd, but one thing that I really want to point out is that they don't really just attack in one succinct pack. It seems like there's a couple stragglers here and there.
Yeah,
and so you really have to watch every corner.
That's something that we take a lot of pride in. Like, a lot of people, when they see this, they think that it's just gonna follow like a snake would. You know, it's gonna follow that same path.
But there's some down there, there's some over there.
Yeah, so they spread out, and so where you
oh my god.
Where you might assume they're going to be coming from, they may have gone around a different way and could come up behind you.
And now he's using a melee weapon, which is the last resort, I assume.
Yeah, so when you're down to the last one, you want to take them out by hand.
Not bad. We are actually able to take out a significant amount of that horde. A good combination of up close and personal with melee, some tactical weapons, and then just some good old-fashioned explosions got us through that scenario.
Yeah.
Eric, thank you so much.
Thank you very
Are you
much.
excited for people to play the final version of this game?
I'm super excited. The game's finally coming out April 26th.
Yep.
We're super excited. We just announced all of the pre-order details. We've got digital versions. We've got physical with collector's edition and a really cool Deacon and motorcycle statue.
Hell yeah.
Advice for the Horde, be careful. Plan it out. You're going to experience Horde in the open world like this all over the place.
Oh, man.
So always be ready.
All right, well, for all things video games and Days Gone especially, you're already in the right place, IGN.